everyone for your time. Today I am going to talk about a project which we have undertaken for developing material for our ELL course. All right, and the project which we have taken, that is the reshaping tertiary level English language teaching learning experiences with teacher developed materials. And quite often for the teaching learning purposes we are using different types of materials. All right, and we are adapting materials or we are subscribing materials from different sources. All right, but when we are preparing material ourselves and we have a sense of belongingness to the material as well, so for that reason what we are trying to do is reshape the tertiary level teaching learning experiences with the help of teacher developed materials. All right, the what is the significance of this project? The first thing is, and it's going to reshape our roles and help find scopes to contribute for the ELT community. And the second thing is the introduce and reintroduce theoretical and practical issues of material development. And thirdly, develop capacities to be more reflective practitioners and problem solvers. And finally, have a recognized identity of material development. So what is the overall gist of this project is, like, for teaching and learning purposes we always reflect on our practices. All right, we always talk to our colleagues for possible solutions of different problems we are experiencing in our teaching learning. And quite often the materials which we are using in our classroom, and sometimes the materials are working and sometimes materials are not working or not meeting the anticipated learning outcome. So when the materials are not meeting the anticipated learning outcome, we also talk to our colleagues as to why it's not working. As we are discussing with each other, we try to find some sort of solutions. And when the solution is solution we get, all right, but it is not documented. So this project is going to help document our experiences as well, as we as a problem solver, as a reflective practitioners, we are trying to solve the problems we are facing in real life teaching learning situation with the material prepared by ourselves and for our learners. All right, so yes, we are language teachers, but we are into the domain of education, so we must think about the purpose of education. And the Kelly 2009 says we must distinguish what we are hoping to achieve, the ground we are planning to cover in order to achieve it, the kind of activities and methods we consider likely to be most effective in helping towards our course. If you look at the highlighted sections, the first one is have hoping to achieve, and the second thing is the ground we are planning to cover, activities and methods we feel most effective. So if we simply transfer these highlighted words or phrases from the perspective of material development, so what we can see, the first thing, we should have a goal. All right, as we have a goal, we are designing certain materials to meet that particular goal. And only designing the materials or designing the activities is not enough. We have to think about a right combination of methods and approaches so that the activities rightly fit the purpose of our learners as well as the fit the purpose of the institution itself. So material is such an important thing, and it is in the breeze between the teaching and the learning, and it is kind of connected. The material is the connector between teaching and learning, so it has such an important role in teaching learning language. All right, and the role of the material developer, there are three different types of role material developer has: the imaginative, and the material developer must be insightful, and finally material developer, excuse me please. Okay, so material developer must be analytical as well. All right, so a few minutes earlier I was talking the same sort of things, that we different times with our colleagues discuss about the problems which we are facing in our teaching learning situation, and we are trying to solve some sort of problems. We are trying to find some ways to overcome those problems. All right, so just see, definitely we are applying our imaginative faculties and the insightful understanding and the analytical what cognition to solve different types of problems, and these three things work closely hand in hand as we are developing a material for our teaching learning. All right, and however the purpose of the material, the Tomlinson says it has five different types of purpose. The first thing is it is informative, and the second thing it is instructional, it is experiential, it is eliciting, and it is exploratory. And what is informative? So informative, the materials must inform the learner about the language. All right, so for example, I am preparing a material for argumentative essay writing. So, what is I am going to inform? Definitely, I am going to inform about the argumentative essay. All right. So, what is an argumentative essay, and what sort of language are expected to produce in an argumentative essay? All right. So, that means the material is informing the learners what are the resources, what are the capitals, what are the qualities you should have as you are writing an argumentative essay. All right, the second thing is the instructional, guide the learner in practicing the language. So only informing the learner is not enough. What we have to do, we have to guide the learner so that they can practice the language as well. So we have to design certain activities so that our learners can practice something to have the knowledge about argumentative essay writing. And then experiential, provide the learner with experience of language in use. That means providing some sort of samples. All right, or what sort of samples are regarded as good example of argumentative essay or bad example of argumentative essay. That means when we are sharing them different sort of resources as they are decoding the information provided over there. All right, so they can understand how the language is working, and they can have hand in experience with the language in use as they are experiencing the language, and they will be able to acquire and learn the language as well. And eliciting, the material must encourage the learner to use the language. That means the material is such an important thing, like which has to trigger the students or the learner's interest so that the learner does not keep the learning within the book or within a written format, rather they can apply beyond it. All right, and finally exploratory, help the learners to make discoveries about the language. So this is the eliciting and exploratory, very close to each other, but still the self discovery is the most important thing. When the learners can discover something themselves, the learning will sustain in their mind for a longer period of time. So these five approaches material should be informative, instructional, experiential, eliciting, and exploratory. I personally found it very enriching and insightful for me. And probably if we can apply these sort of things, or if we keep these things in our mind as we are developing the material, and we can have a very good balance with the theory as well as the material which we are preparing. All right, so the next thing is I'm going to show you an example. All right, so just see, and this time I would like you to unmute your microphone. All right, and just tell me whether you are facing any kind of problem to understand what is written on the screen.
There has been a lot of debate over here about the university.
As you can see, there are two sentences, but the sentences are not written, or the words are not written rightly. All right, but can you please tell me whether you are facing any kind of problem to understand the meaning these two sentences are providing?
No, I think the meaning is clear because we are using our prediction
Exactly,
from the past
exactly,
knowledge. We
exactly,
can figure out the meaning, but yes, a certain letters is missing.
all right, excellent. Noor is saying that yes, we can understand what these two sentences are saying because we have some sort of background knowledge, or we are using our prediction skills to understand. The sentences are faulty, and there are spelling mistake all around. All right, but still we can make the meaning of these two sentences because of our knowledge or experiences. All right, and this is what in the language learning is saying. All right, schema. Because of our schema, we are not facing any kind of problem to
Hmm.
understand the meaning of these sentences. So the schema is what? An active organization of past reactions or our experiences. All right, and from this particular point, I would like to take you towards the reading skills. All right. The previous slides, with some faulty words. All right. And still, we are not facing any problem to understand the meaning. All right. Because we have the background, we have the schema to understand the meaning for that reason. So, when we are teaching reading, the schema is the most important thing we have to prepare, we have to consider. For example, when we are choosing a reading material for our class, all right, so we must think about the schema, possible schema of our learner. So if the possible schema of our learner does support the reading text, the learner will be able to comprehend the reading text better. But if it does not, in that case the learner will struggle to understand or comprehend the meaning of the text. All right, so I will be talking in brief something related to the reading skills in next few slides. All right, when we are thinking about the reading, the Goodman says there are three different type of knowledge reading promote. The first one is the semantic knowledge, the second one is the syntactic knowledge, and the third one is the graphophonic knowledge. All right, the semantic knowledge, as we know, the knowledge of the word. For example, if I say the sun rises in the east, all right, so if I said the sun rises in the dash, so definitely you will be saying east. All right, because it is your semantic knowledge. And then when I am saying the sun dash in the east, you say rises in the east. That is, your rises is the syntactic knowledge. And what is the graphophonic knowledge? For example, uh, the sun rises in the E. I'm saying E. So the what word or sound are related to the letter E. So east. For that reason, that is the graphophonic knowledge. So these three knowledge we are applying repeatedly to understand or to comprehend a reading text. And from the pedagogical perspective, there are four more components related to the reading literacy. So the first one is, as a reader, we are the code breaker. As a reader, we are the text participant. As a reader, we are text user. As a reader, we are text analyst. So when we are thinking about developing reading materials for our ELL course, so we have to define our territory, or what is our target. So do we want our learner to be code breaker, or we want our learner to be code breaker as well as text participants, or as a text users, or as a text analyst? So from this four model, all right, four roles, we can identify which roles we are going to concentrate for specifically for our ELL course as well. All right, and it helps us to determine the hierarchy as well. For example, we have the ELL course, we have 101, we have 102, we have 103. So if we think about these four roles, and on the what beginning level courses, we can help our learners to become code breaker and the text participants. In the advanced level, we can help our learners to become code breaker, text participant, text users. And in the final, for example, 103 and 103 level, we want our learner to be text analyst. They will not only break the code, they will take part in the text, and they will use the text and they will analyze the text from different dimension or from different perspectives. All right, so when we are thinking about the pedagogical approach of these four things, and our task as a material developer will be more manageable for us as well. All right, and then, so therefore, when we are preparing the materials, so we have two major functions. All right, so the first thing, helping the learners understand the particular text they are reading, and helping learners develop good reading strategies for reading other texts. So few minutes earlier, what I have said, as we are talking about the reading skills, all right, and as the learners are applying reading skills, they are not simply concentrated or within the textbook itself or within the course itself. They have to apply the same reading strategies when they are reading other texts. For example, when they are coming to us for learning languages, for practicing languages, all right, we are going to share the strategies. All right, they will get the skills of reading. But when they are reading their departmental reading materials, all right, they have this scope, they have the opportunity to apply the same reading strategies as well. So our target is to help the learners to develop reading strategies they will be applying on other texts as well, not simply the text which we are using to teach them language. All right, and this is in brief the some sort of theoretical underpinnings or the pedagogical underpinnings related to the reading skills. I have given this as an example. All right, that, and this sort of things, whenever we have this sort of things in our mind, it would be easier for us to make the right decision for us. And as well as, if anyone question us, why have you done these sort of things, and we can refer back to these things, that these are the reasons we have added these sort of things. All right, we can interpret it, and later if we do any kind of research, and if we want to publish our experiences or the studies, all right, definitely we can cite this information so that our study become more validated. All right, so the journey which we have started, just started, and that is definitely without any doubt going to be an insightful and very memorable one for all of us. All right, but we have to be informed about the process we will be going through. Or the first thing, as I have given some sort of examples related to the reading skills, and definitely we have another part related to writing skills. We have to think about the theoretical and the pedagogical issues related to writing skills as well. All right, so the first thing is what we have to do, we have to be informed about the theoretical and pedagogical preferences. And the second thing is we have to be aware about the steps involved in choosing, developing, and adapting materials, and prepare a set of principles for developing materials. For example, since we are working in team and with different group, we will be working on different chapters. All right, so if we have a common set of principles for developing materials, we all will be on the same page. All right, so we all will be producing something according to the principles we have set for developing materials as well. And the fourth thing we have to do is that we have to review the headway academic English reading, writing, and study. We have the experience of using this textbook in our classroom, so definitely it has some sort of success, and the challenges which we have, all right, definitely the one which we are going to develop, and in that book we will try to overcome those challenges as well. All right, and the most important thing is, if we have a sample in front of us, our task is will be little easier for us. All right, so because there are activities designed, there are some sort of examples we can see related to the illustration, choice of pictures, and those ideas will be very insightful for us as we are developing our own material. And the next stage is the finalizing the number of chapters with specific learning outcomes, and distribute chapters among material developers, have a manageable timeline to accomplish the task, and finally to accomplish the task and send for proofread, correction, and illustration. So these are the things we have to decide in today's discussion. And if it is not possible to decide with all these things in a single meeting, all right, probably in the coming week or in the coming days we can have another meeting, so that we have these sort of things. And if you have any more concerns, any more issues, all right, any more points to be added, all right, in the journey in brief phase, all right, I would welcome your suggestion, all right. And finally, what I just want to say that the accomplishing the stated stages will introduce CLS as a brand in publishing books and us as material developer. All right. So this is going to be very important milestone if we can accomplish the task, and this is going to be very important milestone for all of us. All right. And probably if we can work together under the leadership of Shaila madam, all right, so and definitely I think we can gain success, all right. So that's what I have prepared for you to present, all right. So thank you so much, and for your patience listening. And if you have any questions and if you want to add any comment, please feel free to do that. Thank you so much.